Hi, my name is Prue Blackmore and I am a transpersonal counsellor, an art therapist. I have a broad and diverse background in a multitude of things, from over 30 years experience in psychiatry and mental health, shamanic practice and other modalities. And today I'd like to talk to you about the conscious parenting program that I run. And what is conscious parenting, we might say. What it is a recognition that parenting is a sacred task, and it's one that we're given very little information on how to be good parents. They don't arrive with an instruction manual, and mostly the kind of parenting that we do for children is exactly what was done to us when we were small people, and often the results of that aren't exactly what we wanted. So conscious parenting is about taking it out of the realms of the unconscious, the automatic, the things that we catch falling out of our mouths that say, oh my God, I promised I'd never be like my mother, and here it is happening. And to bring it into a healing activity. So we take everyday conversations, everyday activities with children, and we utilise them as a healing activity, both for the wounds that were created in you when you were a child, and also to prevent you from inflicting that kind of energy onto the children that you are having in your life. In this program we cover a great deal about the relationship between the parent and the child. There's a lot of information out there about parenting and parents and children, but it's usually about the cognitive development of the child, or it's about the nature of what it is to be a parent, but there's very little on the relationship between the parent and child. And that is where all healing occurs. It's in the nature of the relationship between the parent and child where there is an incredible wealth of opportunity for growth, for healing. And as you treat your child differently in the world, then not only are you healing what was done to you when you were a child, you're also extending a circle of love from your own inner landscape to the child that's in your company and back again. And it goes far beyond, in terms of what it creates for the entire family, than the actual interaction of what's going on in that moment. So it's a very powerful process. Each child, when it's born, is born with a mix of potential and limitation, and how it interacts with the world that it finds itself in will develop those potentials or exacerbate those limitations and ultimately help form the child's personality. The role of a parent is to maximise the potential and minimise the limitations so that the child can flourish in whatever it is that it's here to do. Most forms of parenting are handed on without thought, without much awareness of what's being done to the child. Parenting is ritualised like everything else in life and just handed down, and most of it's very unconscious. And how do you tell when you're in an unconscious relationship with your child? If there's something that your child is doing and you're having a strong emotional reaction to it, and it doesn't matter what it is, if you're having a strong emotional reaction to that, then you're in your own wounded child and you've stopped being an adult and you've started parentifying your own child to take care of you in that moment. And if you find that you're at the sink and up to your elbows in dishes and you're, without thought, just stuff is rabbiting out of your head and you're not listening to the child, you just, cliches are falling out of your mouth, you are in an unconscious relationship with your child in that moment also. So in the course you will learn what is a normal developmental process for a child. You'll learn all about the developmental stages of children, what they can do and, more importantly, what they can't do. You will learn how to maximise your own potential as a parent, how to modify the kind of parent you are, whether you're over-involved or under-involved. And you might be over-involved in one stage of development and under-involved in another. But what you can guarantee is that wherever you were wounded as a child, whatever needs were not met in you as a child, you can guarantee that same wound is going to reappear at the exact moment of time in your own children. So if something wasn't met for you when you were 3 years of age, the day your child turns 3, that wound will come to the surface. Pain and irritability and disassociation will come with it. And those are the clues that let you know you're not consciously parenting this sacred entity. And so in the course you'll learn how to recognise when you're not with them. You'll learn skills how to parent effectively, how to know to be present with the child, how to bring the child into its own potential. You'll learn what they can do and what they can't do. You'll learn what you can do and what you can't do. And it's an extraordinarily beautiful way to heal the past wounds that are inflicted upon yourself and to maximise what your child is being born to be. And I'm sure parents of children these days are beginning to recognise that there's a whole new breed of kid coming in at the moment. I mean, we've all seen information about indigo children, crystal children. It doesn't matter what label you want to hang on them. I think labels are limiting no matter what you do with them. But the fact of the matter is there is a new type of child coming in. It's much more aware than we are. And when a child enters life, it has already begun the journey with all of its mother's bloodline of knowledge, all of its father's bloodline of knowledge, and at the moment of conception it takes it forward. So every generation is richer and more filled with possibilities than the one that went before it. But what we tend to do as parents is attempt to limit the small miraculous thing we have in front of us and put it in the same little black box that our parents did to us. And this new breed of kid isn't handling that particularly well, which is why we're having the explosion of ADD, ADHD diagnoses and the whole broad spectrum of Asperger's syndrome. The reason the explosion is there is because these children are no longer prepared to endure this kind of parenting or schooling. So they either withdraw or they explode and rebel. But either way, you know, when we're getting 3,000-fold increases in diagnoses in a single decade, there's something wrong with the system, not with the children coming in. And so this course is designed to help you accommodate these new kids, how to understand what their gifts are. And in the same breath, I also run a course for children, a sacred circle of love for children who are these amazing little souls coming in, to help them remember who they are, to help them not lose sight of what they are in the way that was done to us when we were children. So parenting is a sacred task. Being a child is one of the most rich places in your life that you can be. And together, as parents and learning about what a child's capable of, we can create a world in which the possibilities that a child comes to live with can flourish in a way that are for the betterment of the child, the family in which it is growing, and the world at large. And so you can follow our links to the website and find out a bit more about it. Thank you.